Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this one is for Dina's brand new release, and it's some really exciting new stencils, transparencies and a stamp set. So I'm starting off in the large craft journal and I'm using Sapphire, one of Dina's most recent new colours. It's one that I often forget about, but it is a really lovely blue. You can see I'm using a wet brush. I haven't gessoed my page, so I'm just going in and pulling this colour around on the page and just making sure it touches the edges in a couple of places. Yeah, and starting that off as my first layer. So then once I've done that, I am using turquoise. As you can see, it's getting towards the end. I've taken the nozzle out because it wouldn't release any more paint. So then I go through the whole, like, bang the tube down on the side to get the last bit of paint out before I snip it open. I'm just pulling this paint across over the sapphire as well. A bit more came out there than I wanted, so I'm going to carefully pop a bit more back in to the paint tube using my brush. Yeah, there we go. Just because I didn't want a massive amount, I just wanted like a little touch of this turquoise here on my page, so that I've got a couple of different shades of blue to start off with. Okay, so once I'd done that, I grabbed Stoked, which is one of the brand new neon paints that Dina released, I think towards the beginning of this year, maybe the end of last year. This is a really lovely pink and it works really nicely with lots of the other colours. So yeah, these three colours do work really nicely together. Although you will find that the neon colours are a little bit more translucent and not as opaque as the heavy body acrylics. That's something to do with the pigment that's used in the mixing process. I have yet to find a fluorescent paint that is opaque. There just doesn't seem to be one. However, what I will say with these ones is if you dry each layer, you can then go back in and just increase the opacity by putting another layer on top. And it does mix beautifully with the colours as well. So it's pretty versatile, I would say. So I'm just kind of, I've got no real plan here. I just wanted to get some colour onto my background. And I kind of decided that I don't play enough with the fluorescent paints. And I think I'm going to make a conscious decision to try and use them a little bit more. So then this is one of the new stencils called Dotted Tape. And here I am just using Sapphire again and pulling some stenciling over the top of my page. This is Mushy Dots. Don't you just love the name of the stencils? And again, I'm using turquoise. So you can see that I'm not introducing any more new colours at this point. I'm just sticking with the ones that I've used already. And just pulling these stencils over the others. So Dina's now released quite a lot of circle stencils, and I've decided I'm going to keep them together on a little ring because I use them quite a lot. I think they are one of my go-to supplies, really. This is another Dina stencil, again with circles. I think I can't remember, space dots, I think that one is. And I used white there, but I didn't change my blending tool, so it did kind of go a little bit pale blue. Then I'm going in with some actual white and I'm adding some splatters on the top as well. So I've created all these layers of interest and there is just paint and stenciling. There's no collage paper on here at the moment. And it just shows that you can create those layers of interest just by stenciling. So this is the figure from the old school mask and stencil set that was in the last release. This is fabulous for creating your own figures to go on your journal page. It works really nicely in the large craft journal because this is a great size for these pages. So what my plan here was to draw around the figure, cut it out, add some stenciling detail to it and use it almost like a chipboard shape on my page. So I'm doing it, drawing around it on cardstock, Like I say, I'm going to, I think I add the stamping on first. So I'm just grabbing a text stamp and some archival ink, and I'm just going to add some areas of stamping to the figure. So I'm not looking to make this stamping go all over. I just want some stamping to be there on the figure. I'm, like you say, I'm not covering it all at all. I'm not using the whole stamp, I'm just using parts of it. I can still see the outline, so it's still going to be easy enough to cut out. And as you know, I just love a little bit of fussy cutting. Not. So yeah, just a bit careful cutting there, and just using my craft knife to cut out the area between the arms and the body. So then I decided if a little bit of black edging on this figure would just help it to stand out really nicely from the background too. And I think it's just a really nice finishing touch that you can give to a journal page. Yeah, it's super quick and easy, and I just think it makes those images that you add on like this really stand out nicely. So just very carefully going and edging in black, and that is going to help that to stand out quite nicely on my page. Okay, so once that was done, I'm then grabbing one of the sheets from the new Transparency Focal Set 2. I'm absolutely loving these little sets of wings that are on there. I'm going to give this figure some wings. So I'm just cutting out one of the largest sets. And I realised that when I was grabbing these that you could cut these out and leave them attached together like that without cutting them apart. However, for what I needed, it was easier to cut them apart and then rather than to kind of leave them fastened together. But they would work if you had a small enough, you see I was just checking there, if you had a small enough figure to add them behind. So just trimming them down just so there's not too much excess transparency around the edges. And then I'm going to use Dina's Ultra Thick Gel Medium to stick those in place. So I've used the glue stick to stick the figure down because that's cardstock and it's not particularly thick, so that should stick quite nicely using the glue stick. And then I'll use the Ultra Thick Gel Medium just to stick those wings in place because that's transparency. The Ultra Thick Gel Medium from Dina Wakley is great for that job. Then I'm grabbing a quote from one of the sets of types ledgers, and what I tend to do often when I want to add a quote to a page is I look through and I just look for one that kind of speaks to me really, one that's going to work. Often quotes will kind of leap out at me. That sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But I'll know which ones I want to use. So I found the perfect quote. I'm cutting it up and I'm going to pop it in that top right corner of my page. You know, if this is something, if you're not sure about, just spend a bit of time popping the quote in different places and see where you feel it looks right. That will be that a subconscious part of your brain telling you where your page is balanced. So just using a bit of glue to stick that in place, and I think yeah, just using a little bit of PVA glue and my tweezers, just because those bits are so fiddly to grab hold of. It's so much easier with the little tweezers that I've got. And that is pretty much this page done. So lots of fun playing with Dina's new release. Come back again for more videos. I've recorded loads, and there will be lots of reels going up on Instagram as well. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.